We were speaking of an approach which holds that this world is true to us only because our mind holds it to be true. Mind is the creator of this world. That is one school of approach. But it is called the school of idealism. Whether we consider mind as a creator of the world, or with the Sankhyan philosophers, energy, Prakriti, one Prakriti, as the creator of the world, we deny reality to things in themselves. They are true if something else interprets them to be true. But the reality of things resides within them. Each thing is true because there is something that is true within that. Things were there independently of our mind. Maybe it is true to us because our mind reflects them. But even if our mind does not reflect, those things are there. So the truth of a thing is in itself. And Sri Aurobindo holds that all forms, all objects are coming out of one being, and that one being is the supreme reality. Even if it is consciousness, Shakti, it is the consciousness of the being, of Brahma, and all things are created out of the substance of Brahma. We don't enter here into detailed arguments of other approaches relating to the objective reality of things. Actually, both objectivity and subjectivity are not opposed to each other, but they are complementaries. They exist side by side. It is one reality, Brahman, who looks at himself as though outside, and that is the object. And he gets, that object is not outside of him, it is inside, within the Brahman, within the being of Brahman. So the subject and object, subjective and objective, are two poises of the same being. And it is only our surface mind which puts them one against the other. Actually, the mind is only a surface movement of a deeper consciousness. Consciousness uses the mind for particularization, for finitization, for study in parts. And mind as it is cannot give us a knowledge of the entire world, whether it is ourselves or the world outside. Mind can only study in parts. But what we are looking after is a knowledge that is whole, a knowledge that is integral, a knowledge of some reality by knowing which all else comes to be known. That is why in the Upanishads it is said, Yasmin vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati. That being known, all comes to be known. And you should know that. So the thrust of Indian spiritual thought is to find that reality by which we come to know the knowledge of everything else. Mind is only an intermediate power, and it has a share in creator but a subordinate share. Then there is another view that only what is physical, what is objective is real. Quite opposite to the view that what the mind says is real. Here they say it is called a materialist philosophy. Matter, physical matter, what is seizable by the senses, what we can feel, that alone is real. And everything else is a product of it. Mind is a product, soul is a product, emotion is a product. But the physical matter, the physical body, that is the main truth. But even here, it gives us only a part of the knowledge of the material existence. And it is good that modern science, physical sciences have explored the secrets of matter, unveiled the powers of matter, and have enriched the material existence. Similarly, the human mind has also studied the secrets of life force, prana, and examined to what extent this world can be treated as a product of the life force. It is only a partial view. Similarly, to what extent mind is the creator, that also we have seen. There are levels to which their knowledge is pertinent. But when you take it as a whole, it is not. None of these can do. Even a knowledge, an approach that concentrates only on the reality of the spirit, beyond the world, above the world, nothing to do with the world, even that is one-sided, because it shuts you out from the world, and the world stares you in the face. On the very face of it, it is a partial knowledge. And that does not answer to our view of the world and the spirit, Brahman and the world constituting one reality. Only that can be an integral knowledge. The spiritual experience, subliminal experience, they are true, and there are standards to verify them. They are different from the standards used for verification on the physical level. We cannot apply our physical standards to spiritual phenomena. Each phenomena has its own relevant standards of verification. So the integral knowledge which we are looking for concentrates on the fundamental real, due to which alone everything else derives its reality. As we are full of ignorance from all sides. The integral knowledge and knowledge of the whole has to come after we overcome our many-sided ignorance. Now, what is that many-sided ignorance which envelops us? First is, we behave as if we exist by ourselves, this world exists by itself, and we ignore our source, the source from which we and our universe have come. That we forget. We behave, this is all. But from where we have derived, from where we have come, where do we go? Who started all these things? We don't know. So this is called the original ignorance. Original ignorance is the ignorance of our source, ignorance of the absolute. Second, our attention is always concentrated on outside things, which are always changing. Life is changing, life and death, time, everything changes. So we confuse change to be life, and even say change is the law of life, and change is the only reality. Forgetting that behind all that changes, there is something that holds, there is something on the bosom of which all this change takes place. And that is, there is an eternal and immutable self which supports everything. And this is called the cosmic ignorance. Cosmic ignorance is forgetting that this cosmos is supported and pervaded by an eternal self. Forgetting that, identifying this cosmos with the changing moments. That is called cosmic ignorance. There is another type of ignorance. Each one of us, we have our own world, little world, petty world. But I am separate from you, you are separate from another person, and all of us are separate from everybody else. So, for each one of us, everything else is other, different. We are totally ignorant of our universal self. We are always concentrated on our egoistic self. What I am, I, my interests, my family, my things, that constitutes my world. Others are there, I read newspaper, I know, I see the TV, I know. So they all exist as outside of me. I have no direct contact with the universal self. So this is the third type of ignorance, called the egoistic ignorance. The original ignorance is ignorance of our source in the absolute, Brahman. The cosmic ignorance is ignorance of the self, the immutable, the eternal self that supports from behind. Egoistic ignorance is concentration on my own little ego, forgetting or being ignorant of the entire universal self. And then, each one of us, we always think our life, little, I was born in 1900 and so, I will be ending in so and so, little life. as if in these 60, 70, 80 years, everything is over. We do not know what is behind, we do not know what is afterwards. So, measuring the value of life in that little period of time and believing that everything is over then, that shows that we are totally unaware of an eternal becoming in time. There is an eternal time, kala, and that goes on coming and coming. And our little life is part of it. There is no end to our life. We segment it and we are ignorant that we are part of the unrolling of an eternal becoming in time. And this is called temporal ignorance. Ignorance of real time. Confusing, identifying ourselves with that little stretch of life between birth and death. And still another type of ignorance is we have the mind, I think, I feel, I have my desires, I act, and my whole idea of myself is over there. That behind my mind there are other regions. Behind my emotions there is something else. Behind the life energies there is something that supports. That there is a large realm of being, behind my surface being of which I am all conscious. That is called psychological ignorance. There are vast tracts of our existence of which we are not aware. We live on the surface and we die on the surface.